Hey guys, Damian Keyes here, welcome back to the channel. So I think it's pretty safe to say that 2020 so far has been a pretty disastrous year for musicians, especially musicians who make their living through their music. No gigs, you can't go out, there's no teaching. I mean, I employ somewhere around about 150 to 200 musicians who go out and make their living from doing gigs. And at the moment, there's no gigs. We lost nearly 1,000 events just from when lockdown started to when lockdown is predicted to end. And I don't know where it's going to go after that. But the issue isn't just lockdown, because when this lockdown is lifted, fully lifted, we still don't know how long it will be before we can start doing gigs, before we can start booking tours without them being pulled. We don't know about festivals and whether it's going to be 2021 or potentially even 2022. It's very difficult to predict how this is going to pan out long term and where musicians are going to start making some money from. Coupled with the fact that we don't know about air travel or events, it's pretty safe to say that musicians have had a pretty turbulent time. But with all of this uncertainty going on, the platforms are starting to react. They're starting to evolve to fit what is happening outside and the current situation. And Facebook have just launched 3 features which should potentially help musicians to make money over the next 6 to 12 to 18 months. The first of those is Facebook online only events. That's right, Facebook are looking to host gigs online. Just the same way as we go to a gig and pay to go, now Facebook are looking to implement that into the Facebook platform, which means that you can now pay to watch artist gigs. Or more importantly for us, it means as musicians, we can now put on events and charge people to come to those digital events. But Damian, I hear you say, why on earth would anyone pay to watch a live gig when they've already got that all over YouTube and the whole world and their dog is currently live streaming? Well, there's 3 answers to this, but the first one is price point. Because when you go out and see a gig and you might pay 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, $1,000 or £1,000 to go and see a live event, this is going to be a lot different. It's going to be slightly more like that Netflix idea where you're paying a small amount of money in order to get to see that gig live. So you might only have to pay $1 or £1 or $2 or £2. We're talking small amounts of money which will add up because instead of being localized for that gig, it's an international event. The second reason is because you are creating a moment. When you are playing live, you are creating something that isn't the same as in the studio. You go in the studio, you make something perfect, and you say that is it forever. Whereas with a live gig, you are creating a moment. So I'm not talking about I'm in the kitchen, I'll hit the live button and I'll have a chat. I'm talking about artists will make proper gigs. They will make things which haven't been done before because creativity and remarkability, those are the 2 things that sell. You are now hyping up an event. Why on earth would someone who already pays for Sky or cable pay extra money to watch a boxing match? Because of the hype, because you don't know what's going to happen, because it's a moment. So your job as an artist who's putting on a gig isn't just to say, I'll just do a gig online. It's to say, I'm going to do something amazing. I'm going to do something different that nobody's done. I'm going to create something that's going to make you want to watch and therefore pay me that $1 or $5 to do so. And number 3 is the interactive aspect. So this means that whilst I'm now doing a gig, I can bring you guys into it. I can be looking at comments. I can be steering the gig. I can be giving shout outs. I can be doing many things like polls or questions to bring this, instead of being me performing at you, to being this is an interactive moment where you get to decide on certain aspects of the gig. And because that hasn't been done before, this means we have now got something new to add in to allow people to want to come and watch and pay for the privilege. When this lockdown happened, every artist in the world was thinking, how am I going to survive? What do I do? And pretty much everyone took to live streams. Erykah Badu is a massive artist and she decided the same thing. All of her plans were cancelled, all of her world tour was cancelled, and she was thinking, what am I going to do? I want to do the live stream too, but I understand that I don't just want to set up a little tripod, press the live button and sing some songs. So she set up Apocalypse 1, which was the first concert that she wanted to put on, which she promoted properly. She found a way of streaming it, and she found an entire production crew to help her with this. And she still did it from her bedroom, but she had multiple cameras. She charged $1 for this gig, promoted it properly, and she got 100,000 people streaming in for that dollar. Then a week later, she did Apocalypse 2, which was a second gig, and that charged $2 per gig. And then the third gig a week later, Apocalypse 3, she charged $3. If you can see them on YouTube. If you go and have a look at the difference between the first one, the second one, and the evolution of the third one, where now she's got a bigger venue, she's out of the bedroom, she's got these pods, and she's made something exciting that people will want to watch, especially for $3. She understood those 3 points. She understood that there's price points. She understood that she's got to make something better than just her in her kitchen. And she also understood that she had to do something which is interactive for the fans. She put it together and it absolutely worked. And yes, it will still get streamed to YouTube, but that doesn't stop a lot of people still paying to go and be there, to say, I was there, I wanted to be a part of this, and yes, I'll pay you the $1 to be a part of it instead of just trying to watch it later on YouTube, because I wanted to be there in the moment. And think about it, if this works for live gigs, why can't this work for teaching? Why can't this work for masterclasses? Why can't this work for any type of events that you as a musician want to set up rather than just a live gig? This is now a doorway to creativity to allow you to monetize certain aspects of you being a musician. The second feature that Facebook is rolling out is a gift style feature, very similar to what you get on Twitch and very similar to what you get on TikTok, where people can gift you or donate you an emoji which means a certain amount of money. Now, this is not a new feature for most creators, but it is when it comes to the music industry, because as usual, the music industry is the last to the party, because the music industry is so full of tradition and pride and ego that we can't do those things. But if I said to you 5 years ago, why do I want to play a computer game when I can just watch someone else play that computer game? And I tell you what, whilst I'm watching them play that computer game so I don't even have to play it myself, maybe I'll just give them money for doing it. You'd think I was absolutely nuts. But try telling that to Ninja, who plays Fortnite, and he makes $500,000 a month for doing so. Now, whilst this feature looks mostly set for Instagram, it will be rolled out on Facebook and Instagram depending on where your audience is, but this is a chance for you to perform and start to get paid whilst you are doing it from appreciative audience members and fans. And lastly, but by no means leastly, I don't think that's actually a word, IGTV Instagram is looking at putting AdSense ad revenue within its videos. So therefore, if you are making long form videos, you will now be allowed to advertise or add adverts into your long form content. Very similar to what we get on YouTube. And the way that works is very simple. You click a button, Instagram will add adverts in, and you will get a percentage of that money to you. And yes, it's probably not going to be loads and loads of money if you're getting 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000 views, but every little bit counts. So there is a big takeaway to this video, because yes, Facebook are adding these things in. But one thing I noticed when this lockdown happened was every musician who lost all of their gigs, that lost their tours, were trying to set things up from scratch because they had to, because they needed to, they lost their income, and it was a case of what am I going to do? The takeaway for this video is this might not be fixed. We might not get out of this lockdown properly for the next 6 to 12 to 18 months. Yes, we'll be allowed to go outside, but what does outside look like? Are we going to be able to play festivals? Are we going to be able to do gigs? Probably not for a while. So the takeaway is we need to act now for what is about to happen over the next 18 months. So those 3 platform changes are allowing you to change your strategy as a musician to start making money, but not do everything, but to start to say, well, if I'm going to make money from IGTV, I need to start making long form content for Instagram, and I need to start building this up. So over the next 6 months, I am building something which then does allow me to make a decent amount of money from Instagram and IGTV. And if you are looking to smash online events as Facebook is setting this up, then that needs to start now. You need to put yourself out there as the go-to. You need to say, this is what I'm going to do, whether it's consistently per week, improving with your creativity, where that event's going to happen, how it's going to work, how you are going to invest in the right gear to make that work. You have to set it up now and practice and get good and figure out how it's going to work whilst you're building that audience, so that in 6 months' time, that's when you're going to start winning. If we leave things till the last minute and be reactive, when at the moment there's no reason why we can't be proactive, knowing that there's probably not going to be the same kind of music industry for the next 6 to 18 months, it's what we do now that will affect how we win in the future. So guys, thanks for watching, but before you go, I want to know where you are making money through music at the moment. Have you taken to Patreon? Are you doing some kind of PayPal scheme whilst you're promoting live? Have you got something in the pipeline? Are you selling CDs again? I want to know how you're starting to monetize and your plan for monetizing your music. If you can leave that in the comments below, I read everything. I try and keep in touch with as many of you as possible. So thanks so much for watching. If you can do me a favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. More importantly, just come and be a part of this community, because we're doing this all the time and I'm so proud of watching you guys grow. So thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.